Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Today's video will look at another lithium iron phosphate battery from Scremower, 12 volt, 100 amp hour, gives you a total of 1280 watt hours. This is a smart version and we'll get started with the video right away. Thanks for watching again. In this video today we'll look at a Scremower battery. This battery is a smart battery. It does come in a normal regular Group 31 housing. As you may know, in quotes, the old first initial batteries, which are super expensive. This one seems to be pretty reasonable priced and the price is dropping. It feels like every month more and more. So right now we still have those Chinese batteries coming into the country here in the US with our great tariffs. But with this one, that's the current pricing, which is, as mentioned, pretty reasonable. It does come with those caps, M8 bolts. It does come with 2 manuals as well, or one is an instruction manual for the app, the smart version, so it does have Bluetooth. And the other one is the product manual, which is pretty thick compared for, you know, a manual. And it's pretty well filled. It's not like they try to cover anything, but it's German. It looks like it is, there we go. In English and German, yes. So that's why it's thick. On page 8, we should see they call it battery performance. Here it is. And we do have the 12 volt 100 amp hour. Max charge current is 50 amp. Max continuous discharge current is 100 amp. Max discharge current for 5 seconds, 200 amp. And that's about this battery. Everything else, I'll do look up as always online what it's advertised with. So I'll do that now as well. You can get this on Amazon, link in the description below, obviously. So in case you want to follow the link. By the way, this is the dimension of this battery, so you have an idea. Since it's a Group 31, it is kind of a standard housing. Regarding the cells and the BMS protection, it does say it's coming with grade A plus cells, has a 100 amp hour smart BMS, overcharge protection, over discharge protection, overload protection, overcurrent protection, short circuit protection, and it does come with high and low temp protection. What's very interesting about this battery, it states 18,000 cycles when you discharge only to 60%, and 6,000 cycles when you discharge 100%. Which is way more than I've ever seen so far. So that's pretty cool, interesting. I don't know if I can test that. So that will be a little bit tricky. But they also say, as I mentioned, intelligent cutoff charging and discharge. So let's get started with the capacity test as always. Then we'll do a high discharge test and see if the advertised discharge of 200 or maximum continuous discharge, maximum discharge 200 amp up to 5 seconds if that's capable, and then we'll take it apart and see inside if we can see and have access to the temperature sensor and maybe test it. So let's get right into the capacity test. Okay, the Scremower seems to have passed with 103.78 amp hours. Great result, proof that I used this one to test it. There it is, Scremower. And you figured correct. It did pass. That's good. It's great to see that. And with that being said, well, let me recharge it completely and then we'll do the high discharge test just to see what this one is capable of. Okay, so just got the battery fully charged again. And now we'll see how much we can actually pull with this high discharge test. So we're looking at a max discharge current for 5 seconds is 200 amp with this battery, and the max continuous discharge is at 100 amp. So that's what we are aiming for. Alright, that looks like everything which is over 100 amps. We might end up triggering the high current protection. Looks like we are triggering the high current protection or the overcurrent protection. So 100 amp, no problem. But everything then above is maximum up to 200 amps and up to 5 seconds. So let's see. Let me get a more consistent picture here. Four, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much your theory, which is good to see that there is some protection actually happening. So we can't go higher, and actually this battery, what it's advertised for with 100 amp continuously discharging, that's not a problem. And there it is back. Okay, you can see everything below where it works, no problem. What the threshold is, that it just stops. Can't say that, but it looks like, yeah, up to 200 amp and up to 5 seconds, that's where it then stops and it just throws an error and needs time to come back. All right, good. That's the high discharge test. So they're as advertised. The BMS is actually doing what it's supposed to do, so that's good to see. Let's continue. I'm coming back here again. So I double checked, and I'm still double checking, and I want to show you that page again. Page 8 is right there, and it says right here 12 volt 100 amp hour. Maximum discharge current 5 seconds, 200 amp. So it should go up to 200 amp for 5 seconds, right? Everything which was already above 100 amp for continuously more than 5 seconds, a little bit more, and then it shut off. So between the 100 and 200 amp, I think it did a great job, but the 200 amp I think I never reached really. So it did shut off before that always. So up to 200, questionable, but you saw that at least the protection with over 100 amp, it did shut off the battery. It's protecting the battery, the cells, and the BMS. So that is good to see that it does work. You actually don't have that every day. So that's actually good. I think that leads us to the teardown, so we'll do that now. By the way, I didn't show you anything here about the battery, but it says QC 12 volt passed. And it does have a sticker on here for the app. And we'll use the app now for the low temp cutoff, so you can see the temperature when it shuts off, or if it shuts off. That is pretty good, pretty cool. And I have not set that yet, but we're actually talking about the model YD12100 right there. All right, let me open it and I'll get you back in. Okay, isn't this always the exciting part? When you finally get it open, for me it is, and this time it worked out. So here we are. Now you can see that's the battery. You can see that is the battery pack inside of this box. So would have fit in a Group 24 housing for sure. Mini, maybe even a mini, but let's look what we have here and so understand it. So we do have, and I always like to start at the wires here, and a 7-gauge wire. We have two 10-gauge wires here on the negative side going to the BMS, which is a JBD BMS, by the way. And then also having two 10-gauge wires over here. So when it comes to, can you move it? No, I don't think so. I also don't see any torque marks. Here's no glue on top, but on the terminals there is glue. Oh, I guess also for kind of insulating it. We do also have a temperature sensor just dingling around over here, which should be on the cells and not dingling around in this airspace, so to speak. We do have, which I really don't like to see, but some construction foam in here. So I guess they placed it in here, then they did a spray foam around it, and that's how it's held in place, so I cannot really move it. It's really tight in there. That's what it is. What I also can see is that they put some kind of what is it, protective, yeah, I don't know what, some kind of, oh yeah, this is adhesive on one side, adhesive paper, parchment paper, whatever, on here around this side. I don't know if you see that, probably, but it's kind of insulating it so you don't touch anything on accident when it moves, I guess. Not the best construction in terms of maintenance, not really possible to maintain anything or change out anything. We have packing tape for the cells. I can see, oh, that's interesting. Well, I'll get you closer. So what I can see is that there's some kind of space between the cells, and that leads me to think that they might be bulging underneath, because here it's more of a gap than it's on top. Even though it's good to say, by the way, we have those bus bars which have a hum in the middle, so it does consider if there's any contraction and expansion happening in those cells. So at least that it gives some room for that, even though it has the foam outside, so it's not really working out. But yeah, I can see here, and it's probably also not the best to glue the BMS on top of everything. I have to see if I can take it off. But that's what it looks like at the moment. I see the balance leads all over the place down there. Inside here, I don't know if you can see that really. It's hard to see in with the right angle, I guess. Down there. So overall build quality, I would say, yeah, it's probably not the best what I would like to see, but it did perform so far in the capacity test. And JBD, at least how this JBD BMS is configured, it looks like it works well. I'll continue. I'll do the high temp and low temp cutoff test. Take test one. And by the way, when I assemble it back on, I'll glue it to the cells. Can I see the cells? I can see the QR code. There's a QR code. It looks like it's a pretty fresh one, so it doesn't look like it's super old or it's scratched off or anything like that, but it's hard to take a picture of that at all. What's good, the vents are all accessible so they can actually breathe, so it's above the layer of foam, so that's possible. And there's no glue, as much as I see here, on top of those nuts also, but yeah, it's pretty tight in there. So let me set up now test for the high and low temp cutoff. Okay, so we do have charging over here. Please pay attention to this number. As soon as it drops to 0, that means that it's not charging anymore. So now we'll do the high temp first, and high temp cutoff first, and then we'll see what happens with the low temperature. There it is. But let me repeat this test because I need to get the app started as well. So here we are at 18% currently. Let me repeat that, and let's see here in the protection field on the side. That's where a protection should kick in. So you see it's also charging again. Now it stopped. There's a delay in the app, but you can see the temperature down here. By the way, it's set in Celsius on the left and in Fahrenheit on the right. That's dropping temperature-wise, and it should be back charging. There it is. Perfect. High temp cutoff does work. Now we'll do the same with the low temperature. That means I'm using this ice pack here. Now we can see the temperature dropping already. Should be a -5, I think it's set online. Celsius. -5 Celsius. So right now we are below 0, so it's 32 F. Now we hit -5 per app. Still charging. Oh wow, nothing happening. Oh dang! Did not expect that because it's a JBD. Usually they work pretty flawlessly unless they're not configured properly. Oh wow, no, nothing. Alright, we'll use the duster. I should be dropping the temperature way more. Here we go. And then it stops. But at which temperature? That's way too low. Cells are dead. They've broken already in this temperature. Or at least have it. Yeah, there's back. Wow, so that's definitely not what I wanted to see. Let me see. I'm changing apps. Well, actually go to parameters. Yeah, we don't have any chance to change any settings here, so that means let me open the Overkill app. Here we are. Alrighty, so now we have the opportunity, hopefully, to adjust what we need to adjust. So going to settings, it's reading from the BMS, and then we can see charge under temperature, it's set to -10. That's definitely lower than it's online advertised. So in my case, I will do, should be triggered. And I didn't hit the, I was at -9, I saw that with the ice pack, because that's kind of temperature. But I want to go to, let me do -1. Let's do that. And when I have it released at 2. And the delay can be 5 seconds. I'm happy with that. So I'm hitting writing to BMS. Here we see also the charge over temp temperature as well. So let's see. Let me go back into the original app. Let's see if I can get there. There is Scrum. I usually rename my stuff, so it's just easier. Yeah, as soon as sorry about that, as soon as you overwrite something in the Overkill app, the BMS is reporting wrong. So now it looks like it doubled the percentage, so just keep that in mind. I still have a soft lock, whatever that means. So let's see, we will be doing the test again. Low temperature. Ding. Please look here, we'll look at the temperature, it's dropping 9 Celsius, 6 Celsius, 3, and it is below 0, now 5 seconds. There it is. Okay, stop here, let's see when it goes above. What did I say? Set it 1 and then 5 seconds, then it should start charging again. So 1, 2, 3, 5, there we are. Well, that's how it works, man. Sorry about the reconfiguring process. Keep that in mind when you do override it with the Overkill app. You might have to charge it all the way, so it does reset the percentage correctly and calculates everything correctly. Maybe you shouldn't do that. You avoid all your warranties. Just saying that. That's a way to do that in case you're not satisfied with that. But it should be set already from the factory, so this is a little bit disappointing. All right, we can stop here. I did all the tests. I did the capacity test. I did pass. High discharge test. You saw that we were not able, or actually we were able to basically do what this battery was advertised. Between 100 and 200 amp. It looks like up to 200 amp for 5 seconds. So between 100 to 200, that's kind of the spot where up to 5 seconds, and then it does shut off. And I think that's what it is, but let's see if we can also see that maybe in the Overkill app really quick. And cell under voltage, over voltage, level 2 under voltage, level 2 over current is 160 amp. It's set to 160 amp. I'm wondering if we change that, if we could pull more. Battery is empty, so you can play around with that setting yourself if you want to. I'm done with that. I'm just, showing you this little thing. Okay, anyways, that's all about this battery. I've seen it. You've seen how it's built inside. You've seen what's capable, what does work, what doesn't work. So I hope this helps you to decide if you want to follow up with that, if you want to buy it. Price-wise, I also showed you where we're at the moment with this one. And I like the JBD BMS it's used, so I'm a big fan of this one in general. And you see those wires do look good, hydraulically crimped. Those things are great. In general, just seeing the glue on top and slapped onto the cells, something, maybe not, but hey, let me know in the comment section below if you like that style, if you prefer it maybe. You know, prices are dropping tremendously. I feel like there are so many cheap batteries out there. This is one of them, so let me know what you think about it. I've seen worse build qualities, to be honest, but I enjoy all your comments. Thanks for watching. Cheers!